Speaking of Jacob Rees-Mogg, quick visit to Idiot's Corner. We haven't been there for a while. You ridiculed Rees-Mogg for saying that technical solutions could be the answer, but you just said 2 technical solutions that could improve the situation, James. Lol. Always good to get Idiot's Corner up on the board, but, mate, you're talking about different problems. Jacob Rees-Mogg is opposed to the proposals that Rishi Sunak is minded to sign up to. He is opposed to them. So technical solutions cannot solve the problem of regulatory alignment demanded by the Good Friday Agreement, but it can solve the problem as a compromise at the sea border now with stuff coming in with 2 separate destinations, but there will still be checks. His suggestion was that technical solutions could do away with checks. Lol. It's your ears. Here's one. Shut up, you mug, has come in by text. I guess that's all you've got, isn't it? Really? Now? Stop it, James! Stop telling me the truth about my own actions and convictions. How dare you? Shut it, you mug! It's brilliant, isn't it? What else are you going to do? Seriously. Is this a phone-in, guys? No, it's a conversation between me and Theo at the moment, and then when I'm taking phone-in calls, this is Idiot's Corner for the day, then that will be a phone-in. This is ringing you now. This is ridiculous. So if I'm taking phone calls, right, that's the phone-in element of the programme. If I'm interviewing a guest, for example, LBC's political editor Theo Usherwood, that's not the phone-in part of it. I don't know that I can make this any clearer for you, but I am delighted to make you the first visitor of the week to Idiot's Corner. Not as much help as this contender for Idiot's Corner. Oh gosh, James, someone who calls himself the Brentford bomber. Oh gosh, James on his favourite subject again. The migrants in France and Germany take more. They are a bigger country for starters. Yeah, when Rory said they take 9 times more than we do per square kilometre of landmass, that was a direct description of the fact that Germany is geographically bigger than we are. So I don't know that I can make it any easier for you to understand. Per square kilometre of land, they take 9 times more than we do. Can I do that I'll try and do it in words of 1 syllable for you, Mr. Bomber. Okay, so they take 9 times more than we do per bit of land. Per bit of land. There we go. Is that okay?
I was physically assaulted walking up the road once by a parent who he was, significantly taller than I am, right. And barged past me and pushed me into the road, just that sort of
I think he's just
anger.
texted me. Listen to this. What craziness are you spouting now? A complete well-rounded person needs a man and a woman as a parent to guide and influence into a child, not the same sex. If that was natural, you'd see it in the animal kingdom. That's from Andy, who's clearly a very well-adjusted and well-rounded human being. A quick visit to Idiot's Corner. Mickey's there. He writes, the wailing lefties phoning O'Brien is a reflection of how weak and pathetic the UK is becoming. God help us if Labour get the keys to number 10. She's appealing to people like him. If you know that and are ashamed of it, then what she gives you when she talks about compassion and how many people we've welcomed from Hong Kong or Ukraine, she gives you a fig leaf to hide the fact that you're in bed with people like our friend here, Mickey. You know this. Everybody knows. That's who she's appealing to. You're a cheerleader for these people, or even an apologist, or even just waving it through, or treating it as normal politics, normal behaviour. You're in bed with Mickey, with friend Mickey here. And yet you can pretend you're not by talking about how compassionate we are. You can pretend that Gary Lineker isn't absolutely bang to rights when he describes it as being reminiscent of language, or not dissimilar. He was even more cautious, not dissimilar to the language of the 1930s, because you can pretend that he's talking about gas chambers, or you can quote something from the very late 1930s and say, well, it doesn't sound anything like that, which is, again, either self-delusion or deliberate apologism, because it didn't start with gas chambers. It started with politicians dividing the people into us and them, into trades unionists, socialists, homosexuals, Jews, activists, lefty lawyers, Labour Party men. That's all on one side, and you're on the other. It started with intolerance and hate speech like swarms and invasions, and the refugees are rich enough to pay people smugglers. And when people stopped caring and became desensitised and turned a blind eye, the really bad things happened, like 187 unaccompanied refugee children going missing in Dover and the Home Secretary not giving a fig. Me, and just for balance over in Idiot's Corner, James pushing his anti-UK agenda as per normal. It's a disgrace. That's not just James, of course. It's also Gary, 24 years in the army, and my unnamed contributor, a lifetime spent in law enforcement in both the police and the Home Office. But down with them and their anti-UK agenda, and up with the racist lies that somehow now constitute patriotism in Brexit Britain, including Suella. But I'm glad I didn't apologise, because someone called Nigel's been in touch. So you got the whiskey wrong. It's to give it to give it colour and flavour. The question wasn't about why you put whiskey in a barrel, mate, because that would also apply to bourbon. The question was about why does it have to be for 3 years? So in order to answer the question as to why whiskey, with an E or with no E, has to be in a barrel for 3 years, the answer is not the same as the answer to the question of why you put whiskey in a barrel, to impart flavour and age and colour or whatever else it may be. So back in your box, Nige. 7-3. Quick visit to Idiot's Corner. Someone who tweets us at MudPuppyJames has been in touch to say, only you are talking about Gary Lineker more than anyone else. Even the Daily Mail has moved on. Give it a rest. I like Idiot's Corner, but some people almost deserve an extra high category for them. So, mate, it's literally the front page story at MudPuppyJames on Twitter. Literally the front page story in the Daily Mail. So what your definition of moved on is, God only knows. But that ain't it. And I'll read you a text. This is funny. James O'Brien is a disgrace and a bully. If anyone disagrees with him or is critical of his viewpoint, he takes it personal and he simply bullies and belittles callers. He clearly has some deep issues and needs help. I do hope he gets some help and is well soon. He also must take some responsibility for the current culture wars as a broadcaster. LBC need to consider carefully their responsibility as a business. Keith, stop nodding. Did you send that? Cheeky little so-and-so. So there it is, you know. That fella who came on the radio with the same opinions as me, he just got his pants pulled down. Sack the presenter who pulled his pants down. But whatever you do, don't mention similarities to 1930s Germany. And that includes all our friends in Idiot's Corner. Let me just find a funny one for you, because they are great. Here you go. I knew there'd be. There's always one. You should have signed it, mate. Seriously, I could have made you famous. 500,000 more viewers for Match of the Day on Saturday. O'Brien and Lineker out of touch with the British public as per usual. Yeah, that's right. Because everyone tuned in to the 20-minute version of Match of the Day with no theme tune, no commentators, no commentary and no punditry, because it was better than it normally is, mate. You absolute weapon. Honestly, give your head a wobble. Oh, here's a great one from Idiot's Corner. John's in Swansea. Mate, I think you've used Alexa to send me a message, haven't you, John? Because you've written, Mr. O'Brien, you are so anti-British, as in auntie, A-U-N-T-I-E. Oh, it's quite sweet, isn't it? Anti-British. That's probably what Nadine Dorries will start calling herself when she goes on tour. Anti-British. Buy your tickets now. Roll up for an evening with Anti-British. Thank you, John. Straight to Idiot's Corner with you, though, I'm afraid. Tim Davey, accused of bowing